Hello. I'm going to try to explain you how I add new constructions to the game. I'll start from the construction definition. I'm going to explain you overall. I'll try to explain you the structure first. We have the name or the key. I'm going to show you an example with the crafting station basic furnace. This is the key. You can name it whatever you want. Then you go to the display name. This is the name of the string that will be shown in the UI or in the building menu. In the table ID, you can leave it this way. I change it in my tool because I didn't want to keep updating the same string table, so I instead created a new string table in Unreal Engine and using the value, or here's another key that will be placed in the string table in Unreal Engine. So this can be here. Also, there is another one. Let me see if I can find it quickly. Architecture. Here is the other one. Game tech data string tables architecture. This is the other string table that it's in the game. The difference is that the interactables are all the crafting stations, or as the name says, the interactable building pieces, like forges, workstation, furnace, workbench, etc. etc. Then we go to the description. Here is another key. Then we go to icon. The icon, as you see, here is a value of -2. This is going to be a little bit tricky because I'm going to need to open the data building constructions. If you open the WASET or the JSON file of the data table, you will see name map, and import data or data. So here are all the string tables, packages, data tables, string tables, 2D textures that are referenced in the data table. So for example, if you go to crafting station basic furnace, it says -986. So it points to, as you can see, import data starts in -1 and it decreases, one position. So -986 here, no, sorry, -986 import data, -986, here it is. Here is the position, -986, and it points to a 2D texture 2D that points to its package. When you place something in Unreal, you will get something like this. No, where? Here it is. This part is the package path, and then here is the item. For example, here is the material is instant constant. So as you can see, it points to -162. So we can 162. Here it is. Package game with textures, blah blah blah. Here it is. So when you add a new, even if it's an existing blueprint, if you create an icon, you need to add this part. So for that you need to add this kind of elements to the imports part of the data table. First, the package. For example, if you want to, let me see if I have another. I don't think so. So for example, well, doesn't matter. Here it is, the package. Could be, I don't know, Moria furnace. So you can change this, and if you see, this and this are the same, and the texture to the points to the package. So for example, in this example, it points to -2 because if you remember, imports start in -1. So import it points to the 2D texture. This is -1, this is -2, and then the 2D texture points to -1, which is the package where it is located. Let's continue. Then we have the actor. The actor is the blueprint path, as you can see. Game level design, blah 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 blah, blueprint. But it's important to include also the name blueprint, then blueprint name dot, the blueprint name, I don't know, this, sorry, underscore, I think, see, because it's the function of the inside the actor. Then backwards compatibility actor. I add it as the same, so you placed the same blueprint address or path as the actor. Then tags is where the construction is going to be stored in the building menu. For example, UI construction category base handicraft. It says the UI construction category, and base is I forgot how it base is essential and crafting, and is the submenu handicraft. I don't know if submenu crafting, handicraft is crafting. And that's it for the construction definition. Then we go to construction recipe definition. We have a key that can be the same as the construction result construction handle, with this key is the same as this key, but this can be the same. How does that work? I don't know. I think it's because they are two different struct type. For example, this is more construction row handle, and this is more construction recipe definition. Then we have build process, dual mode. I don't know if there is other kind of build process. Look, then we jump to location requirement, which is can be both base and free. Free or let me see, because I don't remember. Anywhere. Base is in base, in hertz radius, and anywhere is anywhere. So it doesn't need a hertz. Then we have placement type. I don't know if it's another. I think yes. Snap grid and free placement. Free placement is like hertz, and snap grids is when you want to a construction piece snapped in the grid of the environment, but this needs to be tricky. Well, not needs to be. It's tricky because not all the construction has the snap grid function inside its blueprint. So if you put an snap grid in, for example, in a furnace, it always show in red because it doesn't have the snap grid integrated in its blueprint. Then we go to on wall. It's a boolean. It says if the construction can be placed on a wall or must be placed on a wall. And then is on floor, as if it can be placed on the floor. Then we have place on water, as the name says. I don't know how override rotation works. Neither foundation rule. Foundation rules are properties that have the floors. Let me see if I can show you. The floor. Sorry, my scroll isn't working. Foundation rule never, but auto foundation true will create the foundation blocks under the floor. Then we have inherit out of foundation stability. I don't know what it does. Allow refunds when you deconstruct the construction or the building piece, that will refund the materials. dialogue data table, I don't know what it is, requires nearby, I don't know. These are new properties that were included in Dorin's Fog, so I haven't researched it. Also this one, monument type, this, 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 this. All of these properties have been added in Dorin's Fog, so I haven't researched them, but most of the constructions have the same parameters, so you can leave it at that place. Then we go to has sandbox requirement override. As I explained in the items, if you want to have this construction to have different required materials between sandbox and campaign, you put it here true, otherwise false. If it's false, you need to add this DOM struct like this. Else, also sandbox required constructions. I think it's like I don't know, haven't researched that. Then we go to default required materials. Default required materials are campaign, but if it's false in the override, it will be the same. Here is the list. As I showed you, required material has the requirement type, or consumable or item, and the material key. Wildcard handle, I don't know, it's a structure, and the count is the amount of materials needed to build this. For example, here's ore, stone, then count 20. Then default required constructions, it's empty. Then we go to has sandbox unlock override, a boolean if you want to have different conditions to unlock the building piece between sandbox and campaign. Here is the structure, more recipe unlocked. Here is different, discover dependencies, manual, or let me see. Okay, discover dependencies and manual. These are the only two conditions. You can choose between fragments. I haven't researched on fragments, but this how, like, when you build the when you restore the status, then unlock required constructions. Oh, sorry. Unlock required items when you want to when you want to unlock by an item. It could be an ore, a consumable, an item, etc. Or you can a crafting station. Then default unlocks the campaign one. Again, discover dependencies. If you want to add a construction to the traders as a trade building set or whatever, you need to change it to manual. If not, leave it discover dependencies. If you see, this one requires fragments, basic furnace fragment. You get the fragment when you build your first furnace. Just see require items is empty, and unlock required constructions, crafting station, basic furnace. And then arrow enable state live, which is if you want to disable, just disable. Thanks.